Morning Blitz begins now.
Have a great Friday, you mother...
That is the goal.
A donut will help that.
Yeah, I probably could have got everybody donuts this morning.
You could have.
But I did not.
Yeah, no.
Well, you could have too.
How many donuts did you have? How many donut places did you drive by on your way from Dayton? Had to be 100.
0 because I was here last night.
Oh, dang it.
Oh, yeah, you were in Obat.
On your way from... Oh, where'd you stay? Canal?
Yeah, I was in Grove.
Grove City?
Uh-huh. Or Groveport.
Groveport.
Groveport. There's a difference.
Yeah. There is.
Yeah. All right.
I drove by at least 3.
But are they open?
That's the other thing.
Well, like Schneider's in Westerville, that bad boy's open. Bad boy's open all night, but it's in Westerville.
Isn't Dunkin' like 24 hours?
Yeah, I think so.
No, not all
Buckeye
Dunkins
Donuts?
Not all Dunkins are 24 hours. Some of those things close at like 2, 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah, Tim Hortons isn't. They open at like 5 a.m.
They should be on National Donut Day at least. They should be open 24 hours today.
Maybe Tim Hortons is in some locations, but the one down here isn't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I did not get anybody donuts this morning.
That's okay.
Including myself.
You're all right.
Well, let's be honest, I don't need one.
So what'd you think about Full Throttle Thursday?
I had a badass time at Full Throttle Thursday last night. Let's not kid ourselves. Met the legendary Mike Funk.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Mike's a good dude.
Good dude.
Yep.
I met a bunch of people. Met a girl that's getting divorced, started in a divorce registry. You guys ever hear about that?
A divorce registry?
I have heard about that.
Okay, bring that back up later, but that was interesting.
Oh, so you just found out there's divorce registries?
Divorce registries
Dude,
last night.
There are divorce registries. There are divorce ceremonies. There are divorce honeymoons. You know?
Nice.
Divorce parties.
Girl thought Barab's car keys were giveaways off the table, so took his car key.
Took his car
gosh,
key.
Thank you. Why? I was like, why do you sound like you're in Dayton still?
I was sitting back,
just all relaxed.
Can you not hear that you sounded like you were like 90 miles away in your own headphones?
No, but I'm so congested.
You
that's
just sound
probably
so
why.
good right now.
Thank you.
Golden tones, man.
Much bigger balls now.
Thank you.
There you go.
They grew 2 sizes.
These nuts.
No, you know how if you ever go to a Blitz event, there's a table where you can sign up for things.
Yeah.
Like last night, it was Tesla tickets, and we had like koozies and stuff to give away. Well, Barab lost his car keys. And he didn't lose them. He had them sitting on the table, and a little girl thought it was a giveaway and took his car.
Oh, no.
Till her grandma made her bring it back.
Oh, that's hilarious.
This is great. The Blitz is giving away a car.
Why is it such a crappy car? No, I don't know what Barab drives.
Right. So it was funny. So we went everywhere, like tearing apart vehicles, looking for them. And this little girl, she thought it was a giveaway.
That is hilarious.
So it was fun. You know.
All right. I love you just found out about divorce registries. That's great.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I don't, you know.
I'm a late bloomer.
Well, no, I don't know how well known that is. I know, I've seen a couple things about it. I just knew they existed. But yeah, I mean, it's like, I swear like divorce has become just as big a business as marriage.
Yeah.
With all the different things they do now. Eventually you might get a divorce ring. Who knows?
Can I tell you that I had Jeep shame last night?
You got Jeep shame?
No, I didn't. I had it. I met AJ last night when I got there. Him and his fiance Leanne. They were super nice people.
Okay.
But he came up and he was like, "Did you bring your Roadster?" And I'm like, "No, I drove the Jeep," because he had they had exotic cars and stuff there. He had a little bit of a souped up Miata. Mm-hmm. I'm like, "No, I brought the Jeep." And then I saw Mike was showing me pictures of some of the cars and bikes there, but I parked my Jeep in the back. And again, it's not that I was talking to the guys at Tri-State four-wheel company last night. I was talking to those guys. I'm like, it's not that I'm ashamed of my Jeep. I just don't have in my Jeep what some of these other Jeeps have.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I don't have 20 grand worth of suspension in my Jeep like some of these Jeeps have. Like my
that's
Jeep
like
looks
a car
okay.
show out there, you know.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So like I have a nice dog, but I don't have a show dog.
Well, yeah, I mean those vehicles they're special, man. They're showing vehicles.
Right.
You drive that thing.
Exactly. So
most of those cars probably don't get driven more than 50 miles a year.
Yeah, so I was kind of like, I was a back row guy. I'm like, I didn't park up front with the rest of them. They were and they were nice, but I'm like, yeah, we'll park back here. I see how this is going to go.
Yeah.
Why'd this guy show his Jeep?
So we get Bad Boys 4 today.
I've seen it. I love it.
Oh, you already saw it?
Of course I did.
Would you have a private screening?
Yeah.
Well, you didn't tell us.
Well, I didn't know we were going to talk about it.
Well, no, but I mean, you need, when you have a private screening of a movie before it comes out, you need to let Kelly and I know.
Okay. I didn't
right,
know
Kelly? I mean, we should know this.
I don't care what you do. I give you full freedom to say and admit what you want to say.
Lewis,
I didn't
before
realize
you
that,
got here,
I didn't realize that was in the bylaws.
Before you got here, Kelly always had my back. Now it's like she goes out of her way to not have my back.
No, I just don't want to control the information they give. If you feel like it's a private thing when you're
No, it's not that I feel like it's a private thing. I just don't know that, like, is Blitz Nation part of the Bad Boys audience?
Well, I just want to know about new movies before they come out.
Sure, I'll tell you all about it. What do you want to know?
Well, I did read that, and I think this is ridiculous, that Will Smith gets slapped in the face multiple times in the movie.
Yep.
I mean, is that really what they're going to do? They're trying to, like, is this his way of punishing himself by getting fake slapped in a movie?
I'm okay with Will Smith. I truly am. I never piled on to him.
Yeah, I don't care either. I just thought this was silly.
Was it the wrong move? Absolutely, it was the wrong move. But I've always said, and I will stand by what I said, he is the perfect example of a human being that hit his breaking point and had a bad day.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens. For him, it just happened on a national stage.
I think, though, I think the biggest problem people had was that he just basically ignored it the rest of the night, came up, accepted his award, never apologized the whole night.
Sure.
And, oh well. I want to see the movie. Absolutely want. I love the Bad Boys movie.
I think if you're going to cancel someone over something, let's cancel the wife beaters. Let's cancel the people who, are doing
I feel like it's just the same. You can't beat anybody. You're not allowed to beat a human being.
We didn't beat him. He slapped him.
Well, that's an assault. You're not allowed to assault a human being.
Especially when you're coming from an attitude of violence is not acceptable.
But this is a good discussion. I also think he is the victim of years of emotional abuse.
Oh, no doubt, by his wife.
And I think that's something that doesn't get talked about on the abuse side a lot.
When the man's abused?
Abused.
Yeah, you don't hear about that stuff.
No, and I think it's been going on and on and on and on, and finally dude just had a breaking point.
Yeah, I get it.
And you still have to take responsibility for your breaking points because you're not allowed to assault somebody, even no matter what's going on at home. You are not allowed to jump up on a national stage and take a swing at somebody. And I really have an issue with it still.
My only thing was, getting fake slapped in a movie doesn't make everything even now, That doesn't do anything for Chris Rock.
But a lot of people like the Chris Rock thing, and I thought that was just a money grab. There wasn't anything special about that Netflix thing other than the fact that you made people watch till the end so you could say what you said about Will Smith, and then that was it. You did not better the situation.
Well, that wasn't a vehicle for him to talk about the Will Smith thing. He had a tour planned.
Yeah.
But he made a point of saying he was going to address the Will Smith thing in it, so you made people stream that whole god-awful special till the end.
You talking about the stand-up special was hilarious.
You could have clicked all the way through to the end if you wanted.
I guess I don't think...
We see which side he's on.
No, I just don't think Chris Rock has been funny in about 30 years.
Dude, that special was fantastic. I was in tears laughing all the way through it. I don't know, man. I don't know what you want from a comedian. All right, we have got...
Boy, have you managed to make both of us upset this morning. I'm just kidding.
I truly have.
And you didn't bring any damn donuts.
I'm going home.
No.
We still love you.
All right, that's it. No
all
more. Come on, let's all do a group hug here.
Hey, can I make a song request?
Sure.
Can you play Summertime by Will Smith?
Get the hell out of here. We have got tickets to see Warrant,
Get jiggy with it.
Avatar, and Queens of the Stone Age. They're not all in the same show.
Miami.
I mean, if we're going to do Will Smith, we
Party in
have
the City
got
with
to...
Heat is
No.
on.
Parents just don't understand.
Oh,
We
yeah,
got to get back old school.
Solid.
The Wild Wild West?
Yes.
That's on, too. Make that work?
No. All right. Warrant, Avatar, and Queens of the Stone Age, that's not all in the same show. Those are 3 different concerts. We will give you your first chance to win tickets just after 7 o'clock. You'll get your choice. You can pick whichever show you want, and then we'll give away the rest from there out. Right now, Morning Blitz Trivia. $25 up for grabs to waterbeds and stuff to the first person who texts in the correct answer to this. A rare Star Wars action figure has sold for a record-breaking $525,000. Which Star Wars character is the action figure of? Tell us at 99-700 first and get that gift card.
It's the Morning Blitz.
Flyleaf, Morning Blitz, 625, Dick, Kelly, Lewis. Friday morning.
Have a great Friday, you mother.
She just never gets old, does she?
Well, not at all.
So I'm guessing, Lewis, you have to know the answer to today's trivia question.
Sure. The Star Wars?
Yeah.
Is it the Boba Fett thing?
Yes.
Okay.
A rare Star Wars action figure.
It's the one with the firing rockets?
Selling for $525,000. A little action figure.
Not surprising.
That's the record. Heritage Auctions announced Monday that Boba Fett action figure sold on May 31st, now the world's most valuable vintage toy. The 1979 rocket-firing Boba Fett came with little plastic missiles, but the toy never hit the shelves because it was feared the missiles could become choking hazards, which that makes sense. I get that. But some of the toys survived, and they've been in high demand by collectors. And this one was never opened. It's mint in box, and $525,000. Does
Not
anybody
bad.
know what the previous action figure was?
Are we talking Star Wars?
No, that had the record.
Oh,
For the
no, I
highest-
don't know. Because I know Yak Face in Star Wars was up there for a while.
Diamond-wearing Barbie
Oh.
that sold for over $300,000 in 2010.
Kelly, were you...
Speaking of Star Wars toys,
Yes.
did you get a glimpse into Lewis's recording studio at home?
Yes. Dude, how do you clean that?
Well, no, I need the story. What's all on those shelves? It is packed, it looks like, with collectibles.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff in there.
A ton of stuff. It's pretty cool. I asked him about it.
12-year-old boy's
That's
bedroom.
what I asked. I texted Lewis. He's like, it's a 12-year-old boy's dream.
It's a fan's room, man. It's no different than a man cave. No different than if I had a man cave with a bunch of cowboy stuff in it. You love Star Wars.
You
I
didn't
get
see
it.
the whole room.
No,
I know.
you need to do like a pan video and post it on the Blitz Facebook page.
so
That's
like
just it. We only saw a little part, and it was unbelievable.
The one wall is the Bengals and Reds shrine. There's the wall that I kind of face has pictures of the kids and Lauren, and then the wall next to me is the Batman wall that has a bunch of stuff, and then and then you guys probably saw from that angle. You guys probably saw the Star Wars wall.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah, you saw the Star Wars wall. 'Cause
Nicely
you know what, though?
done.
There's a couple of things that I've bought myself, but a lot of people will get me stuff. And like like Sean Bias, when we were at Sonic, came up and gave me a Lego Star Wars dude.
Oh, how nice.
So like, yeah, so people will get me stuff and I'll add to it. So that's what it is. You guys, I'll do a shot for you this weekend so you can see it.
Yeah, like if we still got each other Christmas presents here, which we don't, Lewis. I would definitely
'cause
find
it's
something.
June.
I would definitely find something Star Wars.
Yeah.
For Lewis, you know.
So that's you didn't see my lightsaber, my real lightsabers, did you? I used to chase the dogs around with those because they'd freak out. It was
Do you have them in an X above the bed?
No, I should.
That's what Howard does on The Big Bang Theory. Then when it's mood time, he
seen it.
turns those on and make pretty colors.
I've seen it.
Do you have a belt buckle
No,
lightsaber?
No, I don't. I don't. I probably should.
No, you should not.
Sad thing is I have no shame, so I would wear it if I did. Yeah, you don't. When I went to Kosai and they had that, all those things I wanted to take home. Like I would have had all of them. I would have found a way to fit
Can't
everything
imagine.
in that room.
Oh my God.
Jedi scum.
And yes, Sean, I love the Acolyte. I think it's really the first 2 episodes were
Oh, I haven't
fantastic.
seen that yet. Yeah, I haven't got around to that. Kelly, we did finish the TikTok cult.
Ooh, Dancing for the
documentary.
Devil. Can we
Oh,
talk
my
about
God.
it a little bit?
Yeah, we will coming up. We definitely have to talk about that. William Reisner was the first one to text in Boba Fett, so William scores that $25 to Waterbeds and Stuff.
Zeppelin on the Morning Blitz, 640. Dick, Rick, Kelly, Quinn. I'm Lewis. Good morning. And Josh from Pleasantville says he has a full set of Mandalorian armor that's wearable. I would wear that to work every damn day. And you're like, why are you wearing your Mandalorian armor? Because this is the way, Rick. This is the way. Jeez. Absolutely.
Are those suits available?
I don't know. Might get a little hot in the summertime, but I'd bear down. You'd get through it.
All right, so Kelly Osbourne was on the Osbourne podcast, and I thought this was so bizarre. She said that she hopes her years of drug and alcohol use will have protected her from cancer, citing her family's history with the disease.
I'm hoping that I've embalmed myself so I don't ever get cancer.
Pickled.
I'm pickled from all the drugs and alcohol, for sure.
Okay. Sweet.
Runs in the family. Apple doesn't fall far
I don't
from the
think
tree.
I don't think it works that way. I'm no doctor. But I don't think it works that way.
I, for one, have never heard of like substances you put into your body causing ill effects of any kind.
Well, Donald Trump told everyone to drink bleach to start having COVID.
So that's her logic behind this, which, by the way, that last part was not true.
This is why the internet is bad.
Exactly. Yeah, it's funny. That's what I immediately thought of the tribe down in the Amazon. They got the internet, kind of along the same lines as what you were just saying, that it's bad. And I'm like, if you could go back in time and prevent the internet of ever happening, do you think that the world would be a better place today?
I
Probably.
do. I 100% do.
It's like any new technology, anything new in the world, we figure out how to ruin ourselves
Yes. Why do we do that?
Well, but think about the world, just in the world in general. If you don't like a fact or an opinion, you can go find someone who agrees with what you want to hear, and that becomes your new fact.
Yeah.
Or your new opinion. Like, it's so much... There's so much...
misinformation.
Yes, misinformation. And again, since when is drugs and alcohol... Okay, so the constant wearing down of your organs is going to protect you from... Makes all the sense in the world.
Right.
Go get him. Great plan. Again, I understand that not everybody is educated, but that's just galactically stupid. Because rock stars haven't been dying of drug abuse for years or anything.
Yeah, but was it cancer?
Sure, there's been a few people that, I'm smoking for 30 years. I can't believe I got lung cancer. Really? Yeah, I'm shocked too. Not. I'm going to quit smoking. That ship's already sailed. Go get yourself another pack of Marlboros and have at it.
Oh my gosh. Doug says he got sprayed in the face with feces his first week working with the portable restroom company, and he's not been sick since. Coincidence? He thinks not. Jeez. Steve said hearing Kelly Osbourne's voice makes him want to drink bleach.
Right?
Oh, and Sean said you can get Commando armor?
Yeah.
Off of Etsy?
Yep. Keith Richards. Keith Richards is the exception. Keith Richards cannot be killed by mortal means.
I don't know how that...
He's the only exception. He is the exception to every one of those rules. But I also think Keith... a whole new body of blood like every 2 days. or something like that.
Yeah. Now, the guys from KISS seem very healthy, but they've always been no drugs, no alcohol.
Right.
Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons, never.
Right.
It's amazing. All those party songs, but they've never done any drugs or alcohol.
When Scott Weiland died, who wasn't like, wow, that took longer than I thought it was going to?
Yeah, I know.
It's not nothing against the dead, but that's the one you probably saw coming.
Well, good luck with that, Kelly Osbourne.
Yeah, wrap yourself in bubble wrap. Nothing will happen to you then either. 6:49 on the Morning Blitz. It's the Friday edition with me, Lewis, Thick Rick, and Kelly Quinn. Good morning, one and all.
Good morning.
I just saw Mike Funk's picture of his favorite fishing lure. That's funny. Made me laugh. Anyway.
I love you found out that divorce registries exist last night at, of all places, Full Throttle Thursday.
Full Throttle was fun. I had a good time. It's just me, Barab, and Cody, but we had a good time.
Hard not to down there.
Yeah. It was
That
an
is a
impressive place, too.
So we just do those once a month, right?
I believe so,
Yeah.
yes.
Man, I got to get down there.
You should.
Yeah, I didn't make it last night.
Obviously.
Okay. Well, you didn't bring donuts this morning, so we're even.
I didn't say I was going to bring donuts.
But it's National Donut Day. The new guy always has to bring the donuts on National Donut Day.
Is that in the bylaws?
It's in the Bible.
I'm supposed to notify you when I go see a movie, too?
It's in the Bible. No, when you get to screen one privately before it comes out, I want to know about the movie.
Oh, okay.
But all right. Well, you'll know now next year for National Donut Day.
I will.
So.
I'll put it in my calendar now.
All right. Would you guys go to a restaurant if it had an age limit?
Yes.
Whoa! Coming in hot.
I love children. I absolutely love children. I never had any of my own, but I was and still am obsessed with both my sister's kids. There's nothing that quite shoots through your entire body than a distressed child.
Agree.
And there are some people in this world, God love them, that don't hear it and don't hear their own children making a fuss because they're so used to it. It's just normal for them. But it shoots through my soul and disrupts my peace. And when I'm spending a lot of money at a restaurant, I need to have just a little bit of a guarantee of peace. Does that make me a terrible person?
No,
not at all.
Because there are people that will say, well, they're kids being kids, and we have the right to go to dinner too, and those parents struggle with those kids. I'm just saying the arguments I've heard 1,000 times.
And if I'm at Red Robin, all bets are off.
Right.
So let your kids scream. That's what it's for.
Red Robin,
that's what Red Robin is for.
Right.
Absolutely.
I believe that's their slogan.
You're having a good time. The Red Robin's running around. You got balloons. You got fun.
Oh, there's a
Red Robin that runs around?
I've never been there.
100%.
Now I have to go.
Right?
And listen, Red Robin has good food.
I've
so
heard.
we
That's
have
what I've
chosen to go there as adults with no children. And we expect it. We love it. We embrace it. But I want to tell you, if I'm going to Jay Gilbert's for a really nice dinner
Expensive.
with adults, decently priced, I can't take it. I don't think that should be allowed. And that I hope you never do again. You just assaulted the entire city of Columbus.
Good Lord.
Back
up off that mic if you ever do
You
that
told
again.
me to get close to the mic. Now I'm so confused today. Yeah, that. No, you get Red Robin, where your kids could scream
100%. I'm expecting it. I'm at McDonald's. I'm at any more restaurant like that. Bring it on.
Do you have that sound again?
The baby?
Yeah. Wait a minute. Wait. Red Robin. Marketing genius. No, I'm with you. I feel for parents. I do. But I also think we live in a world now where, if I don't have a babysitter, I just bring the kids with me. No, that's the wrong answer. Because you drag your crying kid into a movie theater at 10:30 at night because you want to see an R-rated movie. That makes you a ishy parent. Sorry.
Well, the thing is, I don't mind if you bring your kid. I really don't. I think that if your kid starts throwing a fit, you as the parent need to understand that you are impacting a bunch of other people at this point, and just bring your child outside, calm down, give them some love, whatever they need, then bring them back
Somewhere
in.
the respect be damned came into play.
So what if the age limit at the restaurant was no women under 30, no men under 35 allowed?
Well, I don't know. Would never understand a reason for that age limit. What is it?
Well, there's a new upscale Caribbean restaurant in Missouri. A Caribbean restaurant in Missouri. Just wanted to make sure you heard that. It's called Blitz. And they have a policy. They set an age restriction. Males must be at least 35 and women must be 30 during prime hours. Here they are explaining.
It's just something for the older people to come do and have a happy hour, come get some good food, and not have to worry about some of the young folks that bring some of that drama.
And of course, we have been getting a little backlash, but that's okay because we're sticking to our code.
Those are younger ones. You can come patronize the business once you turn 30 or 35 because we're going to be here for a while.
They do card you at the door.
Okay, so it's more of a mature clientele they want.
I'm okay with depending on what prime hours are, because I think you're misconstrued. If you think like 5 o'clock in the afternoon is prime hours for young people, I'm here to tell you that's not the case.
Well, I think that's happy hour.
Okay.
So it's probably like 5 to 8.
I mean, you're a private business. Do what you want. I don't care. I mean, I've got nieces and nephews that are under 30 that I wouldn't be able to go there, but it doesn't make me hate you for wanting an older clientele. Who cares?
That's true. And there's nothing worse than a crying 30-year-old while you're trying to eat your steak.
Right. I mean, I want to know what kind of drama they've experienced in that restaurant to make them not want people in their 20s.
Listen, You went through a breakup. I get it. I just want to eat my filet mignon in peace, okay?
They did say that young people have been trying to sneak in and then post about it on social media. So that's only going to help them, I think. You know?
Probably.
You're 34, huh? And you're a guy? Nope, can't come in. That's a different. I'll be interested to see how this progresses. So I'm going to follow this one.
And now, 3 things you need to know before you go.
How about this? The National Weather Service has now confirmed 4 tornadoes touched down in the general area Wednesday night. Tornadoes hit Delaware, Licking, Knox, and Muskingum counties. A brief weak EF0 touched down in the Centerburg area in northeastern Delaware County. In Licking County, an EF0 hit Hanover. An EF0 hit the Miller Township area of Knox County, and an EF2 with winds between 120 and 130 miles per hour hit Frazeysburg in Muskingum County. In fact, there was extensive structural damage in Frazeysburg, and 9 people were injured, 5 of whom were taken to the hospital in Zanesville. Ohio does stand a good chance of breaking the previous statewide annual tornado record this year, including the ones just recorded Wednesday night. The National Weather Service has so far in 2024 confirmed 62 tornadoes in the state of Ohio. That is the same number as the standing record set in 1992. The average number of twisters per year for the Buckeye State used to be 19. But those averages have nearly doubled since the 1990s.
Wow.
Weather and climate experts have made note of what seems to be a shift in the area referred to as Tornado Alley, and they say that shift could be leading to the increase in tornadoes here.
I was just going to say, it feels like Tornado Alley shifted.
Yeah.
62 and 92?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, 62 tornadoes back in 1992.
Oh, we got
That's
text
crazy.
yesterday. It says caused by the HARP weather machine in Alaska.
It's crazy.
Well, let's talk about this tiger in Cincinnati. A woman who works at the University of Cincinnati says she knows what she saw on her break early Monday. Tony Jackson says when she walked into the parking lot, she works an overnight shift at the University of Cincinnati. It was about 2:45 in the morning. She says that she starts walking through the parking lot on her break. She says it smelled so strongly like the zoo. She was like, what is going on here? And as she kept walking, she says she saw a tiger, a big tiger, just creeping around. You know how they stalk a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
So Tony
That
tells her
strut going.
supervisor, she's freaking out. She calls her supervisor. They call 911. And about 36 Cincinnati police officers responded to the scene. And here's Tony Jackson describing everything.
The other officer, she asked me, she was like, you sure it isn't a dog? Or like what she said, a Great Dane or a cane corso? I was like, no, ma'am. I was like, my dad breed dogs. I know the difference between a tiger and a dog or a deer. Like, I know what I seen, you know.
So Tony, basically, she was telling this to a TV station down in Cincinnati. She says the officers then said, are you on drugs?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, do you believe it? And she said, no, I'm at work. So eventually police sent up a drone, but it was a little foggy and they couldn't really see a whole lot. And then turns out all the cameras in the area were not in operation. However, as all these police officers were searching, a group of students flagged down one of the officers and said, hey, we saw a tiger near our apartment building. So we have other eyes on this tiger now, right?
All right.
Police officers could not find the tiger. There were no more sightings of the tiger. So Tony says right now she's just waiting for vindication. She said she knows somebody has an exotic animal they're not allowed to have in the city. And she cannot wait for vindication because she knows what she saw. That's wild. You know, I love it when people say, I definitely saw a monkey out there. I definitely saw it.
Yeah.
Remember the howler monkey?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it could be, you know, and they can hide.
So we'll see. I don't know.
So Tony's waiting on the tiger.
Tony's waiting on the tiger. Very good,
She
Lewis.
thinks he's great.
Those are your 3 things.
Maybe it wasn't a tiger, if you know what I mean.
I do not know what you mean.
Okay, me either.
Oh, somebody's called Joe Exotic in. You know.
Well, it's a little hard while he's serving federal time.
If you bring in Joe Exotic, you're going to have to deal with that bitch Carol Baskin.
Oh.
Carol Baskin. Killed her husband, whacked him. Can't convince me that it didn't happen. Fed them to tigers, they snacking. What's happening? Carol Baskin. Killed her husband, whacked him. Can't convince me that it didn't happen.
Never gets old.
Fed them to tigers, they snacking. What's happening? Carol Baskin.
I truly believe, and I'm not going to get into it, but Carol Baskin is not the villain. Not even close to the villain in that story.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Carol Baskin and her creepy husband are the definition of creepy, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I am not cutting my hair.
No, you fine, Joe. You stay just the way you are.
All right, you cats and kittens, what do we got coming up?
Oh, my gosh. We have got tickets. We have got your choice of tickets to Warrant, Avatar, Queens of the Stone Age, and we got an email yesterday to Kelly.
7:10 on the Morning Blitz, the Friday morning edition with Thick, Kelly, and Lewis. Almost the weekend. Get through the workday today, and we're into it.
Have a great Friday, you mother...
All right. So,
somebody's requesting it.
Probably. Here we go. This is from Steve Hollenbaugh.
I think that's how you say it.
I'm assuming that's how you say it. If I said your name wrong, Steve, I apologize.
Yeah, Kelly, you told the story about hiding under a blanket at a dirty drive-in movie when you were a teenager.
When I was 17 years old. My friends, my two girlfriends and I decided, this will be hilarious. We're going to go. And they had to sneak me in because there was an age 18 age restriction.
It was the first time you ever saw a dirty movie.
First time I ever saw a few seconds of a dirty movie.
You said 1 minute.
Before I hid my head under a blanket, plugged my ears because I didn't even want to hear it. And it was traumatizing.
Steve says, Kelly, I heard your response to XXX movies when you were 17, hiding under a blanket. How do you feel about them now?
Oh.
Do you still want to jump under the covers? Or are you okay? I'm just curious.
I am not a consumer of pornography. I do not look at it.
I'm shocked to hear you say
I
that.
don't see it. I don't look for it. I find no use for pornography. That was traumatizing. I kid you not. You might think that I'm silly for saying it, but what I saw on that screen did traumatize me in a way. It impacted my brain.
Wow.
That I could not forget it. It made me sick to my stomach because I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I don't want to ever be involved in anything like that.
So...
And it wasn't like your typical... your typical.
What you're saying is Kelly's video pick of the day on the hub is not going to happen.
Never.
Okay.
Never. I don't look for it. I don't consume it at all. And in fact,
but you're in a healthy relationship though.
Yeah, yes, I am. And I also find the whole industry to be very riddled with abuse.
And all you could see was cellulite hanging in pubic hair.
Drug addiction. And I don't know why people support it. But that's just another whole topic.
She pulls out her breast and she's juggling them.
I know why people support it. I shouldn't say that. I just think that it would be nice if we did not support that type of industry because of the abuse.
I do agree with you on the sense that there is a lot of abuse there. And if you look at it, there are a lot of adult... People talk about professional wrestlers who die at a young age. Yeah. Go look up the stats for adult industry stars.
Really?
There's a lot of them that... Because again, I think you do... I'm not a scientist. I'm not an expert. But the way it looks on the outside looking in, my guess is... You do it for the money, then you start to have some kind of guilt for what you're doing, so you use the drugs to camouflage the guilt and whatever else is going on there, and it just one thing leads to another. And I think the abuse is there because it's what else are you going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I see every point you're making. I totally get where you're coming from and understand how it happens and probably does. But if you look up the difference between like WWE stars that die young and porn stars that die young, porn star dying young doesn't make the news because it's not a mainstream form of entertainment for everybody. But, there are a lot of them that have died really young or that get out of it, become advocates against it, but because of their porn history past, can't get a job, so they go back to it. Like, it is really it's kind of a sad walk of life if you think about it.
Yeah. Doug said, my little sister found a porn tape when she was real little, turned it on, nobody knew, and she said, Mom, look at this woman trying to eat this man's tail. Jeez. Now, Ron said, amen, Kelly. My view on porn changed when my first daughter was born.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'll do it. That'll do
had this conversation last night at Full Throttle with somebody. When you have a young girl in the house, and again, the one in my house isn't even mine, but it changes your perspective quite a bit.
Yeah. All right, we got tickets to see 3 different shows: Warrant, Firehouse, and the Bullet Boys, which is coming up next Friday at the Rose Music Center; Avatar at the Newport, September 11th, and Queens of the Stone Age in Cincinnati at the Brady Music Center, October 1st. Those go on sale this morning at 10 a.m. If you would like your choice of tickets, we'll start counting at 7:16. Text CHOICE to 99700. Text the word CHOICE to 99700. And to give our folks that are listening online a little time, we'll wait to start counting at 7:16, and then text number 99. You will get your choice of tickets to either one of those concerts.
7:26, Friday morning on the Morning Blitz.
Friday morning
with Dick, Kelly, and Lewis. Hopefully you go somewhere this weekend and someone will take out their breasts and juggle them. Even if that's just you in the privacy of your own home.
Michelle,
or in a public bathroom.
Michelle Call from Delaware was the 99th text. Very excited. She picked the tickets for Warrant with Firehouse and the Bullet Boys next Friday. Said her husband was just talking the other day about how much he'd like to go to that show, and now they got free tickets. So that means we still have tickets to Avatar and Queens of the Stone Age to give away coming up this morning. And I've already seen several texts come in about this. I don't know if you guys have heard this new song by it's Falling in Reverse and Jelly Roll together. It's kind of country rock.
Oh, I saw Ronnie post about that yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
I have not heard it yet. I can't wait.
It's called All My Life. I just give you a clip of this. Very bizarre. The video is insane.
Yeah.
I've been up and down. I've been through hell and back. I've had my share of drama, baby. Please cut me some slack. I know you want to get through to me, but I am my worst enemy. I may have true blood, but that was true love. I'm like everywhere I look, every time I go right, everything goes wrong. And I self-destruct when I'm close to love. Better run around, here we go.
They're like in this Western saloon. There's a whole bar brawl going on. Every different type of person on earth is in there. And, they're just like Ronnie Rack. He's walking through, dodging all this stuff. And then he ends up, they got a couple like really famous YouTubers in the video. And he ends up in a duel out in the, on the dirt road in the middle of town with her. And it's bizarre. It's funny because the Falling in Reverse aspect of it sounds like their old stuff. Mm-hmm. Like going back to, like several years ago. And then they get into some, the rock portion. But then there's the country aspect to it. It's just bizarre. Falling in Reverse with Jelly Roll. It's called All My Life. I highly recommend you watch the video if you want to get the full impact of the song.
I can't deny. I'm doing my best to get it together.
It's so strange to me. This whole song is just bizarre to me, but it's catchy.
Yeah.
So Kelly's like, I don't know, you're not having it?
No, I mean it's I need a few listens.
Yeah, I feel that way too. I mean, this is like the third time I've heard it, and I'm not sure.
I liked it, but it's drastically different from Ronald, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I go back to him going, I'm an asshole, and I don't care, and all that. It kind of reminds me of those, that kind of Falling in Reverse, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
but, the video's great, and I'll root for Jelly Roll all the time. It's hard not to like that guy.
Oh, I know, man. I don't know anybody who doesn't like Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
I mean, he is so beloved by every corner of the planet. Like every genre of music, everybody just loves him. And I get it. I mean, he's got that big personality. He's so positive.
He's real. He can make fun of himself. Yeah. He's not hiding from who he is or where he came from. Like, I can respect that in a lot of ways. So good on him.
Yep.
Trapped on the Morning Blitz, 7:39. Kelly Quinn, Thick Rick. I'm Lewis. Thank you for waking up with us. I have to say, real quick, before we jump too far in, I made my list. I followed the Thick Rick guideline of meeting people last night at Full Throttle Thursday.
Oh, cool.
And I wrote some stuff down.
All right. We'll get to that. I just wanted to mention not glowing reviews about this new song.
I know. The Jelly Roll thing?
Jelly Roll. Falling in Reverse with Jelly Roll. Zach said it's terrible. Christine says she loves both Falling in Reverse and Jelly Roll, but not a fan of the song. Doug said Sugar Ray called and wants his song back.
Ouch.
On another topic of the girl juggling, Stephanie said, just a side note, if your boobs are big enough, you kind of have to hold them. You juggle them as you go down the stairs, you'll end up knocking yourself out or with a black eye. I wouldn't know.
Stephanie, you're apparently our official Morning Blitz boob expert now. Whenever I need boob advice, I'm going to you.
Pam says Jelly's great. Ron says, God forgive me. I know I should love him, but I'm just not a fan. Not into country or rap. Chris says the song sucks. Josh says, is every Jelly Roll song about how effed up his life is?
I'm okay with that, though, because you write about what you know. And it's not like there's a shortage of addicts anywhere in the world struggling. So if someone new comes to Jelly's table and it's the first time they've heard something, maybe it helps them out.
Yeah. Crystal said Jelly and Ronnie's wives are in the video. There's all kinds of people in the video.
Yeah.
It is packed full of famous people. So, yeah. James said Jelly's gotten too churchy for his taste. Does it mean preachy?
I'd say preachy.
He's just so positive. I don't, I got no problem with that.
I have a hard time in a world of negativity. The dude's trying to do something good. I can't hate anybody for that.
I love that he's turned his life around and everything. And I don't like every song he's ever done. I mean, he used to do some strange rap, back in the day. But I don't know, man. He's a pretty talented dude, I think. I don't know. I still don't know about that song.
Travis said he doesn't like either artist, but he does like this because it's catchy. That's my thing. It's just fun. If it's 3 minutes of fun, cool.
Yeah.
So
Nikki said Stephanie's boob talk is on point.
Good to know.
All right, so who all did you meet last night down at Full Throttle Thursday in Obetz?
At the legendary Mike Funk. Great dude. Finally got to meet Mike. He was a good guy. Steve came up and said some nice things, said he listens to us every morning, so appreciate that. I didn't get the gentleman's name, but there was a gentleman that came up to me that said, I think there are days where Kelly's going to kill you.
Oh.
I said, we really do get along.
We do get along.
But there are those days.
There are those days. Met Nick, great guy. Gil was awesome. He came up. I listen to y'all every morning. It was a good guy. And I finally met Candace from Candy Cottage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're at the farmer's market this weekend, but in Grove City. But she was, her and her guy were out there, and we were talking. We were looking at comparing ink.
Okay.
Talking about tattoos, but I was talking about her Buckeyes that she makes us all the time, so it was cool. I met a bunch of other people, but these are the people that I wrote down their names for. And thanks to the other Nick, photographer Nick, for buying us a couple of cold beverages. And Mike Funk brought me a beer, now that I think about it, so I appreciate that.
Mike's a good dude.
Good, very good dude.
He's headed to Indian Lake to catch some big catfish.
Nothing wrong with that. So, this was a good time at the Full Throttle.
And then you met a girl who is getting divorced or just got divorced?
Yes, I met a girl who got divorced. In the process, she started a divorce registry.
Yeah, that's become a trend.
Everything. And I heard him talking about that, and it was because the other girl asked her if concert tickets were on her registry. And I said, oh, you getting married? And she said divorced. And I was like, that hit me. I didn't know this was a thing. I mean, why wouldn't it be a thing? But apparently you can have a divorce registry.
There is a website called divorcist.com. Says Divorcist, the gift registry for divorce and breakups. I mean, there are websites dedicated to this. Well, obviously, you're going to have a registry.
Yeah.
But the idea is that people can be, really financially vulnerable at the time they split up. Good chance they're only going to have half their stuff once they split up, if they're lucky. Appliances, tools, furnishings, those everyday supplies. And so some people think it's a great idea. Others argue it's more helpful than, providing newly married couples with stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense because a lot of times, in a divorce, you're splitting the assets. So there is a chance that if you are getting a divorce, you might need something because it was your husband's or your wife's and you had to give it back to them or they wanted to keep it or you didn't feel like fighting over it.
Unless you are escaping a situation, I'm not inclined to buy you a gift for getting divorced. If you are escaping a situation, if you are left, with nothing or little or cannot support you and your kids because your ex-spouse is a deadbeat, then I'm inclined to help.
You're not
I'm
alone.
not trying to be judgy.
No,
now, listen,
you're not alone
if I
either.
have a good friend who's got everything in the world and got divorced, I might just be like, here's a gift because you unloaded that piece of crap you were married to. I mean, just as a joke. But if somebody's truly in need, and I'm going to know it if I get invited to participate in a divorce registry, then I'm happy, absolutely happy to help.
Well,
but yeah.
You're not alone. Some people say they've already supported the marriage and the pregnancies, and if it doesn't work out, that's the purpose of spousal support. One person wrote, "You broke it, you buy it."
Sketcher Man doesn't get divorced. He has multiple wives.
But I have known people who should have been in an okay situation post-divorce, but their ex-spouse decided they weren't going to continue paying support, and that did leave them in quite a situation that I find to be disgusting. If you're not paying child support, you make me sick.
That's what I'm saying. There are those situations where even if the marriage starts off well, it goes badly in the end. And then the person doesn't want to pay or, in defense of I know a lot of guys who get stuck paying support and their lifestyle changes, but their support level doesn't. And that becomes a little bit of an issue. I mean, again, you should support your kids. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but there are a factor where you might have been ordered to pay a certain amount of support at one time, and all of a sudden you lose your job, and now your new job pays you $20,000 a year less. That does put a strain on.
I mean, there are a million different scenarios that give people an excuse to not pay what they're supposed to pay. I get it. There are different circumstances. I'm saying in general, if you can afford to support your kids and you decide not to, then that's gross. That's gross. And you're leaving somebody else in a situation that hurts not only them, which you don't care about them anymore. I get that, but the kids. That's what I feel sad about.
Yeah. I think it's I mean, I don't know. Like, I think if you're doing this for fun, because I have been in bars DJing and there have been divorce parties.
Oh, there are massive divorce parties. There are divorce honeymoons.
So yeah, I think if you're doing it for fun, that's one thing. But I do agree with you to an extent, Kelly. It's not my place to provide you with money to finance your new home because your marriage didn't work out. So I do see where you're coming from there. But I also think it is situational and it is conditional. There are a lot of times where, ish just goes bad.
Yeah, somebody said if your friend promotes it on your behalf and sets it up for you, it's far less tacky.
Yeah, I had a roommate once that got nailed with ridiculous child support, and I was pissed at him. I'm like, get a lawyer and go fight this. No, I don't want to. And he ended up paying, his child support was financially crippling. And I'm like, your ex-wife can work. She chooses not to. Tell her to get off her lazy ass and go get a job. Fight it. And he didn't fight it. And then signed over his rights, but that's a whole other story.
Jason's a man's man here. We love you, Jason. He said, I paid child support for 15 years. The order ended in May. I'm still helping my ex-wife with bills because my daughter still lives with her. She'll always be my little girl.
Good for you.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Somebody said something great here. They said you could always include items on the divorce registry, like have me over to dinner or come to the movies with me.
Yeah. There you go.
Because all of a sudden you're alone again.
Yeah. Lori said when I got an ex, when I got divorced, my ex didn't support his kids, and I had to go to food pantries and charities. I still don't think I would set up a divorce registry.
That's all right.
Yeah, I do feel like in those situations, which is in the situation that I knew of, was fairly close to me, that people who love you know the situation you're in and will hopefully surround you and help you. And again, the food pantries are there for that reason. Thank God we have food pantries out there that can help people who are really in need.
Yeah. It's, I mean, you know. But again, we have people that start GoFundMes because they want everything. And that drives me crazy. Like, if you're starting to GoFundMe, there better be a damn good reason why you're starting to GoFundMe. I'm not GoFunding you because you want to buy a new car. Because you've always wanted a BMW and you want everybody else to help make that dream a reality. Yeah, no. Sorry. Keep playing the lottery, sweetheart.
I just love Lewis came in first thing this morning and goes, dude, you know there's divorce registries? I go, yeah, it's kind of been a growing trend for the past couple of years. It's hilarious, isn't it?
Chevelle on the Morning Blitz, 7:54. Thick Rick, Kelly Quinn, Lewis, divorce registries, GoFundMes, hardworking people, lazy people, child support, deadbeats. Covering it all. Running the gamut this morning. The daddy, did you see this one?
No.
I was working 50 hours a week, making $63K a year. After child support and spousal support was paid, I bought home a little over $11K for 2 years. I brought home a little over $11K for 2 years. I continue to pay $1,200 a month for one child, and I'm still asked to pay for lunch money at school.
Okay. Yeah, it's not always fair, is it?
No, and then Rose, though, said, I do everything on my own. I've been single for 3+ now, and if I can't afford, then I do without. I never ask anyone for help, and I lost most of my belongings to my ex because he had nothing when we got together.
Yeah, we had another one that says, I purposefully didn't ask for child support because I knew it would cripple him. So, I don't know, man.
I think this is a classic example why there are people that stay together because it's more costly to get a divorce.
Just, more financially beneficial.
The strain is real.
It is. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I feel for people in those situations. Going through divorce, got kids. Just, if you do go through that, don't use your kids against each other because they will grow up and learn the truth one day.
Now, the 3 things you need to know before you go.
Okay, a construction crew demolished the playground at Wineland Park in the University District by mistake. By mistake. The Columbus Recreation and Parks Department says a construction crew contracted by the city was tearing down the playground of the neighboring elementary school. But some sort of confusion led to the park's playground being taken down as well. Like, as long as we're taking down these slides, let's go over there and take down those as well. The city says the contractor's taking full responsibility for the mistake, and in the coming months, they will be rebuilding the playground at Wineland Park.
You're getting a brand new playground.
Yeah, hey, not bad, not bad. The U.S. Coast Guard was called into action yesterday morning when a group of boaters signaled that they needed help in the water off Kelly's Island. 4 people say their boat lost power at about 6 p.m. Wednesday, and they had no reception. They could not call for help. 11 hours later, at 5 a.m. yesterday, they were able to use an app to contact emergency dispatch, and the Coast Guard came out and rescued them.
Oh, my God.
Nobody was hurt, but can you imagine taking 11 hours to figure out how to get a hold of somebody when you have no reception? Pretty wild. Yeah, how can you download an app? I mean, that must have taken forever to figure. Well, it obviously did. It took 11 hours of them just sort of hanging out on a boat.
I mean, you're close to Kelly's Island. I can't believe there's no boats around.
Yeah, I guess in the overnight hours, why would there be?
Oh, didn't you say it was 6 p.m.?
6 p.m., but then they waited all the way till 5 the next morning to get some help.
Yeah, at night. No, I get it. I'm just surprised nobody saw him before it got dark.
All right, let me tell you about this pig situation in Washington State. This family in northwestern Washington has sued a local butcher shop for killing their pet pigs when they came to the wrong house. According to a lawsuit filed in Washington Superior Court, Natalie and Nathan Gray were raising 2 female pigs, Betty and Patty, both 2 years old, when it all came to an end on May the 1st. In the lawsuit, the couple alleges that employees of Farmer George Meats, Jonathan Hines and Dylan Baker, came onto their property at about 1:30 p.m. The couple was not home. They came onto their property and killed Betty and Patty.
This wasn't the same
Their
company that
pet
tore down
pigs.
the playground. Was it?
No. First, these guys shot the pigs with a .22 Magnum. And then they did what you do when you drain pigs before you butcher them. That is the point when Natalie came home and saw her beloved pet pigs in an absolutely brutal nightmare of a scene. Then Nathan came home. The two of them say they were, as you could imagine, think about your beloved dog and somebody came and butchered your dog.
Yeah.
How traumatizing that would be. So they are so traumatized at this point. And they tell these people, you are what are you doing? And they're like, we came here. We're supposed to butcher these pigs. They're like, not here. These are our pets. And they're like, oh, what's the address?
Oh, no.
They're at the wrong place. Okay. So you know what they did? They said, hey, we're willing to offer you free butchering of Betty and Patty. We'll do it for free. They're like, number one, you've already killed them.
Whoa.
Number two, we're not planning to eat them.
We're
going to bury them.
Were they going to charge them?
So the family's now suing for trespassing, reckless infliction of emotional distress, and more. They have asked for economic damages, including burial expenses for both pigs, damages to their land, and of course emotional damages. That is nuts. And I literally think at this point you've got to give these people all your money and shut down your shop. I mean, there's no other. You have made a mistake that is not, you can't repair that.
Yep.
It's horrible. I can't even believe it happened. Anyway, those are your three things.
I mean, yeah.
Free sausage for a year is not going to make it work, right?
No.
We're not going to charge you. We're going to give you free butchering. Well,
That's great considering I didn't ask for the butchering to begin with. It's the Morning Blitz, 8:09. Thick, Kelly, Lewis on a Friday.
Oh, everybody's so upset about this pig situation. I am too. I am with you. It is just the most disgusting, awful mistake you could make. And it's just complete. This person texted in, it's just so lazy that you didn't double check that you were at the right spot. It's so lazy. And you have traumatized. Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. We have to add this to this list for this TikTok dad. You guys got to hear this guy. There's a dad on TikTok, and he made a video talking about the 5 things that parents should not do if they have teenagers. And he said these rules come from his teenagers.
Okay, first is bring out a platter of food when they have friends over. This is trying way too hard, and it's coming off as kind of desperate. Next is talking to your kid's friend if you're driving them somewhere in the car. Don't say hello or acknowledge them in any way. Remember, you're just an anonymous Uber driver. Next, letting your kids see you run. I don't care how hard it's raining or if you're trying to catch an airport shuttle. Seeing this will damage them more than looking at the eclipse. And obviously, if you trip and fall, they're going to need a lot of therapy. Okay, last is bringing your own chair to a sporting event. This draws too much attention to yourself, so either sit in the bleachers or stand, despite the crippling back pain that causes.
These things bother teenagers.
Well, I mean, it's a teenager's job to completely roast their parents at every opportunity. Every opportunity, you are getting roasted as a parent for everything you do.
Yeah. Yeah. They think they're so cool that they know everything. I did. I always knew more than my parents, right?
I don't know a single 16-year-old that doesn't think they know more than their parents.
I did know.
Oh, if you don't, I can introduce you to a couple of them.
Jeez. All right, we still have tickets left for Avatar and Queens of the Stone Age. Avatar at the Newport, Wednesday, September 11th. Queens of the Stone Age down at the Brady Music Center in Cincinnati. Tuesday, October 1st. Those tickets go on sale this morning at 10 a.m. through Ticketmaster. But if you would like a pair of tickets to either show, just text CHOICE. Text the word CHOICE to 99700. We will start counting the texts at 8:13. So that our delayed friends who are listening online have a chance. At 8:13, we'll start counting. We'll take text number 99, text CHOICE to 99700.
ACDC 823, the Morning Blitz. Kelly, Thick, Lewis. Happy Friday.
Yes, yes.
And good morning.
Oh, Kelly. I was a little shook by this Dance for the Devil, this 7M TikTok Netflix documentary.
Now, are you a cult documentary consumer?
I haven't watched a lot. Cults have fascinated me. I mean, going all the way back, like Jim Jones and the Guyana tragedy, and David Koresh and Waco. What was the one in California? The
Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate.
That was
I was
cool.
fascinated by that.
Y'all are going to drink the Kool-Aid, right? Yep.
But man, it seems like they are just, there's so many more of them than I realized. You know, we got there's the whole documentary, the whole TV show about the devil in Ohio, which is that other one up, north of us.
Yeah, there are a number of cults, even here in our own state of Ohio.
Lewis, you watched, what was it called, Mother God?
I did watch Mother God.
What was that one? Where's that one at?
She's dead now.
She's dead, but that was in Colorado. That was all over the place.
Okay.
Colorado, Hawaii for a minute. Like, they were all over. California for a bit.
Well, now they're getting to our kids through social media. But I remember the Devil in Ohio, that one, they talked about how these people are going to schools to recruit kids.
Yeah.
And so now they can just use TikTok, and they're preying on these kids' dreams of dancing.
Okay, well, there's already a misnomer here. They're not kids. They're adults, full-fledged adults that are involved in this TikTok cult. All right? They're not kids.
Okay.
They're not children.
But they were teenagers. Right? I mean, even at 18 and 19, that's when they're making these dance videos. And
so you're using the term kids loosely.
Gotcha. They're young people. They're preying on, they're preying on young people's dreams.
Got you.
Because they make, and I gotta say, these victims, whatever, if they are victims, man, they're friggin' amazing dancers. Well, I mean, absolutely exquisite at dancing.
Just to set the stage, here's the deal. There's a man named Robert Shin in L.A. He is the pastor of Shekinah Church. Okay? And he decided in 2021, because his son was involved in videography and doing the video work for some of these TikTok dancers who had millions of followers. Robert Shin decided, hey, I want a piece of the action.
Yeah.
So he decided that he would invent a management company called 7M. And he recruited not only his own son, but he had his son sort of bring in these other dancers. The thing is that it was all sort of, they were coerced into getting involved in the church as well.
Yes.
So the 7M management company and Shekinah Church are actually sort of one and the same.
Yeah.
At some point in this, is that these dancers all express sort of a desire to get closer to God, a desire like, I was in church as a kid. I really miss it. I would love to come to church. And this guy seems like a cool guy. And he's also really helping us with our careers. So at some point they became so entangled that they have been essentially cut off from their families.
Yeah. That's the definition of, if you look at every cult, and you can pick one, sometimes you're in a cult and you don't even realize you're in a cult. But if you look at The Vow, which was the Nexium thing with Keith Raniere and Allison Mack and all those people, and you look at the Mother God cult, and now you look at this one.
Scientology.
The leader of the cult, dynamic, charismatic, and convincing.
Yep.
And you see people that, because of that, they give their lives to this. Even if you see them doing something wrong, like in the case of Raniere and probably a half a dozen others, you don't acknowledge that they do anything wrong, and you find ways to defend them, and then you keep going and going and going. You isolate yourself from the family. I mean, I use The Vow because Catherine Oxenberg's daughter was there. Like, you shut yourself off from your family, and you are 100% all in on whatever your demigod figure tells you should be doing.
You look at some of these cults, they take in your whole family.
Yeah.
And here's another thing that's common among all of the cult leaders. Well, and it goes, again, going back to Jim Jones, Charles Manson, David Koresh, Shin. These cult leaders, it's amazing. They all get to sleep with all your women. Mm-hmm. All the different women. They get to sleep with several different women, even the ones who are married and their husbands are in the cult with them.
Well, the funny thing is, it's so funny that you bring that up, because I was on episode 1 of this Dancing for the Devil Netflix doc. Mm-hmm. Episode 1, and Charlie's like, so how many women is this guy having sex with? I go, none. I think it's all about the money. And then he goes, no. It's always about sex. You just wait, watch more of it. And sure enough, within 5 minutes, the sexual assault claims started coming out against Robert Shin. And the guy has been married.
Yeah. And the one girl's like, I did anything he told me to do. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So let me say, as somebody, and this is a story for another day from me, but I was a member for a dozen years of a very high commitment church in town. And out of of my own free will, my genuine and most people's genuine, pure desire to grow, in my case, in the relationship with Christ, I really wanted that high commitment. I wanted to turn my life over. And I do feel like it's similar with these 7M adults, these 7M
That was the same thing with the NXIVM people. The women who got into it, it was supposed to empower them and give them more guidance for their career and
the
everything
problem
else.
comes in with these high commitment, which I will call a high control church, is it is extremely controlling of your time, that you become involved in a way that is comfortable for you, but then more and more of your time is demanded, more and more of your commitment is demanded, more and more of your money is expected, community living is encouraged, self-sacrifice is encouraged, extreme tithing, extreme gift giving, and then you end up cutting people out of your life, including family, if they aren't supportive of your choice to be in such a high control environment.
The Mother God people all lived in the same little compound in Colorado. The NXIVM people bought like all the houses in a subdivision in Albany. So it's weird that they all like commune together.
Right.
And if you're part of the family and you don't understand or you try to say something, you become the enemy.
Exactly.
All right. I definitely want to talk about the money. We are up against a break. We're back in 4 minutes.
It's the Morning Blitz, 8:35. Vic, Kelly, and Lewis. Adam, does anyone else at the radio station want to look at Thick Rick and say, talk to me, Goose, every damn day?
Oh, talk to me, Goose.
I don't understand.
The Goose.
The Goose. It's a combination of
And
Top
the
Gun.
Stomp.
The Goose Stomp from yesterday. You know, the Sketcher Stomp
the hell
of
away
death.
from me. And it worked. Steve said Lewis lured me into his cult with tastefully done black and white nudes.
Well, if you're going to join a cult, I think that's a pretty good one.
Brandon said all those cult leaders are narcissistic. You're right. That is true.
There is a real level of narcissism that allows you to completely take control of somebody's life and finances for your own gain. Well, it's really sick.
The crazy thing is the blindness that comes with it, too, because even like the ones who are in jail or whatever, you can still see people out there protesting the fact that they're in jail, and they'll defend them despite the fact that whatever evidence they have against them, it's just they're trying to do good in the world, and they're trying to bring them down.
It's always a group of people who insist they're misunderstood, and their leaders are misunderstood.
Right. It's crazy.
You know, and by the way, we're if you're just joining us, we're talking about Dance for the Devil, the 7M TikTok cult documentary on Netflix. Going back to the money, these very talented, God, they're so talented, these dancers, and these videos are making money. Well, they got to give 50% of that to Shin.
Well, the funny thing is he disguises it in a way to make it more palatable for them. He says a tithe to the church, that's 10%.
Yep.
A gift to the church leader, which is
he's
himself.
Got all broken down in percentages.
And then 10% management fee.
Right.
And then the list goes on and on.
And then they have to pay for the room that they're staying in on top of that. They have to pay for their living expenses at this cult, whatever.
And
you guys, would you be offended if I started a church?
What I don't know. Maybe it depends on the church.
You get a religious holiday out of the deal if you join my church. We'll have our own religious holiday.
I'll need more than one.
I mean, I could offer some life-changing advice.
Yeah, I bet.
Don't be ashamed if you want to take out your boobs and juggle them.
Jeez. No.
Especially on a Friday.
All right. Yes.
No?
Yes, we will be offended.
Okay.
So this Shekinah Church, which is just entangled with the 7M management company, which is representing these TikTok dancers.
Yeah.
It started out as a church for Korean Christians, and we get another story within this TikTok dance cult situation of these Korean sisters who had been in the church since the late 90s. That, my friends, is a tragedy unlike anything you may have ever heard. It's such a tragic situation with these two sisters who had no parents to speak of. They were looking for a family, and this Robert Shin piece of crap took them in. And one of the sisters managed to escape, tried to get her other sister refused to go with her, and then for the next 10 years was sexually abused by Robert Shin. It's absolutely just mind-blowingly nauseating to know what these people went through.
You know, the sad thing about this is, and I think this is probably where some of these people prey on people. I've said for years, especially to young people in junior high, high school, where you're trying to figure out who you are and you're looking for acceptance, church can be a really good place to go, at least until you figure out who you want to be, because there is that sense of community, there is that sense of accepting you for who you are. And I think these people have taken that concept and they find a way to prey on someone that doesn't have a sense of, like, maybe your family life at home is ish, or you don't have a ton of friends, or, you know, you're picked last at everything you ever try to do. So they bring you in and they offer you, they tell you what you want to hear, in a sense, and fill you with this.
No, we're not a regular church, we're a cool church.
Right. But they make you think that you're, all of a sudden I'm a part of something special.
Well, it's called love bombing.
Yes.
They come and love bomb the crap out of you, and you're like, oh my gosh, I've never felt so loved and a part of something in my life. And absolutely, why would you not join that? And you're really vulnerable as a young person, as a high schooler, as a young college person.
Dominic said, people who think R. Kelly is innocent, some of those people. Yes.
Yeah. All right, so the problem here is, you know, the families of these victims, I'm calling them victims, I don't care. The families, though, have tried to sue. They've tried to get investigations. The problem is very hard to prove anything because, number one, running a cult is not illegal. You know, having a cult and having people come in and live in your cult and pay you, none of it's illegal. And if the people who are members of the cult, like Miranda, because there's two sisters, and the one sister, Miranda, they did these amazing videos together.
Yeah, the
Beautiful
Wilkins
girls.
sisters.
Wilkins, yeah, Miranda Wilkins. She stayed. The other sister said wasn't buying it. She did not stay, and they lost touch with. You know, she lost touch with her sister. Her parents lost touch with their daughter. But here, just 4 days ago, Miranda made a video saying
Miranda's in the cult.
Yeah, she's the one in the cult saying, I'm not a victim. Nothing is wrong here. I'm fine. She watched the Netflix series and she said, this is wrong. It's not true. We are not here against our will. And I'm like, you're brainwashed. I'm sorry, but girl, you are friggin' brainwashed.
Maybe. However, I will say, having been in like I said, a high commitment church situation for many, many years, that her saying that she wants to be there, I really believe her. I believe that is the situation. It is serving her in some way right now that she wants to be there. She is not there against her will.
Agree.
They're not holding her.
I agree.
I think one day she'll wake up and decide that this high commitment situation. And let me tell you, by the way, if you are a Christian, a Bible-believing Christian, this man's theology is way off course. It is not right. He's talking about receiving Jesus Christ as your Savior. Yeah. And he's like, but, I mean, the Bible says that's all you need to do to have a relationship with Christ and have eternity with Christ. But what Robert Shin says is that's not enough.
Yeah.
You can receive Christ, but also you need to be doing all this other stuff for me, and that's what's going to save you from hell. He scares these people so badly with the possibility of going to hell if they don't do exactly what he says, that they're paralyzed to leave this cult.
Can I ask you a question? And you don't have to answer on the air, and I completely understand if you don't want to, and I'm sorry for asking you this on the air. What made you want to get out of your situation?
Yeah, why are you not
what
with
did you
it
decide?
anymore?
What point did you decide was enough for you?
The point I decided that it was not enough is I was going through a particular problem in my life, and they were unable to treat me as an individual. They were unable to understand the troubles that I was having, and still let's see if I could put this in the right words here without being too explicit and something I'm not prepared to talk about.
Sure, certainly. That's why I'm sorry.
I would say that they did not want to they don't like dealing with people who may have issues or go through troubles or need therapy or counseling.
Oh, you gotta be perfect.
Things like that. It's like that you are considered a waste of time at that point because you're not being productive for the group.
That was the NXIVM thing. The NXIVM thing was very much if you brought up an issue, they turned it around to where, how did you cause that issue to come up?
Now, because I was in some sort of like leadership situation in this church, low-level leadership, I do know what happens in those situations, in those types of meetings, and they do consider people who have some needs, who aren't able to be productive, as dead weight. Okay. And so I knew I was being considered dead weight, and I thought, it's time for me to cut ties here.
All right. Well, I absolutely agree with you. Like Miranda, I think she's convinced everything's fine. She's not a victim. She wants to be there, and I think the ones who are in it all feel that way, but I think it's because they're all brainwashed. That's what I believe. So, but yeah, check it out. Dance for the Devil, the 7M TikTok cult, the documentary on Netflix.
It's Nirvana on the Morning Blitz, 8:48. Thick, Kelly, and Lewis. Good morning, and welcome into Friday.
Yes. It's a good day. It's always a good day, Friday.
You fishing today?
No. Nah, bunch of stuff to do. I say it's a good day, but I got a ton of crap. Just busy work. But either way,
have a great Friday, you mother.
It's still a good day.
Sure it is.
So you guys remember the Michigan man who he kind of became an internet hero for logging into a Zoom court appearance? It was a driving offense. He had his license suspended, but he logged into this virtual court while he was driving his car.
Yeah, he's behind the wheel. The judge is like, are you driving right now at this hearing about your suspended license?
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
Here's the audio from that.
Mr. Harris, are you driving?
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually. I'm parking right now.
This is a driving while license suspended?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And he was just driving, and he didn't have a license.
That's what the charge is, Your Honor, yes.
He's suspended, and he's just driving.
That is correct, Your Honor.
I don't even know why he would do that. So, defendant's bond is revoked in this matter. Defendant is to turn himself into the Washington County Jail by 6 p.m. today. Failure to turn himself in will result in a bench warrant with no bond.
Oh, watching his face.
Poor guy.
Watching his face while this is going on.
Oh, well, poor guy knowing the update here that Vic has.
All right. So he spent 2 days. His name's Corey Harris. He spent 2 days behind bars before getting released after that, after he did turn himself in. And Harris says he should not have been sent to jail over it. And the whole ordeal has been very embarrassing.
It's very embarrassing. And with the type of ties that I have with the church and the community, it's very embarrassing. Always double check behind these workers, because they will say that they will do something and they don't do it.
Okay, now what he's talking about is he did a recent interview with 7 News Detroit. And Corey Harris says his license should not have been suspended in the first place. He said his driving privileges were suspended in 2010. And then in 2022, another judge lifted the suspension and reinstated his driving privileges. And that stuff all checked out. The news fact checked that, and somehow that's true, that in 2022, a judge did lift the suspension. And 7 News explains why the suspension wasn't actually lifted.
Court records show a judge ordered that suspension lifted in January 2022, but a spokesperson for the Secretary of State said they never received a clearance from the friend of the court. But today, a representative for Saginaw County's chief judge did respond and said the clearance was never sent to the Secretary of State because Harris did not pay the license clearance fee to their clerk's office.
Well, you do have to pay your fee.
Well, now here's the problem with that. And think about it now. For 2 years, Harris claims he thought his suspension was lifted, even though it wasn't. And he says that he never heard anything about this fee.
Never told me a thing. That's all they said was that they would be sending me some paperwork in the mail. And here it is, 2024. And I just received the paperwork that they were supposed to send me 2 years ago.
In front of the court.
Right.
They never said you had to pay a fee or anything.
No.
Okay. Now, perhaps Corey should have contacted them when he didn't get any paperwork that they said he was going to get.
Especially after 2 years.
All right,
Now I've changed my mind. You owe this man for 2 days of his life spent behind bars. You owe this man for 2 years of non-communication. This man is owed. Now, Saginaw County, you need to pay up.
Okay, Kelly, you're gonna have to take all of that back.
Oh no, okay.
Because I got the big reveal now.
Oh crap!
And none of this stuff all of this stuff that happened, none of it makes any sense. The suspension of his license in 2010, the court ordered to lift the suspension, and then not doing so because of a fee. Well, Harris was back in court earlier this week with a lawyer. He got a lawyer, and she obviously didn't do her homework either. And Harris's attorney argued her client didn't start all the hoopla. That was her quote. He didn't start all this hoopla. Well, Judge Cedric Wilson, who has been the same judge each time Corey has appeared in court, he put her, the attorney, in her place real quick. And here's the big reveal. Check this out.
I will tell you, first of all, with any reference to your client having had a license on that day, and some indication or misunderstanding as to whether or not he had a license. Let me make it very clear, based upon what the court looked at, he has never had a Michigan license, ever, and has never had a license in the other 49 states and commonwealths that form up this great union. He has never had a license. When they suspended his license in Saginaw, they don't suspend the license. They suspend the privilege to drive in this state. Hence, for example, if he had had a Kentucky license, he would be able to drive everywhere that Kentucky would allow him to drive. He just couldn't drive in Michigan because his privileges had been restricted. But that wasn't at all said. But it doesn't matter because he didn't have a license.
Ever? Oh, Corey Harris, you made me look like a fool. I was on your side.
Well, you know.
How about that?
So it wasn't really a license suspension hearing. It was just basically, listen, you don't have a license and you're not allowed to drive in the state of Michigan.
He never has ever had a driver's license in his life.
Dang,
what license was suspended in 2010? What judge was going to lift that suspension in 2022? I don't understand.
I was about ready to fight for damages for this guy.
Well, here's one thing now. Corey Harris has gone and gotten a Michigan ID. You know, you can go get an ID, a state ID, every single year since he was 19 years old, but no driver's license. Now, either he was trying to pull some crap, or maybe, is it possible he just wasn't too bright and really thought his ID was a driver's license? I don't know.
You know whether you took a driver's test or not.
Yeah, you would think, but I mean, I don't know, man. Some people, maybe they just don't understand how everything works.
I don't think so. He seems like a very intelligent person.
I know.
He knows that he doesn't have a driver's license.
So he's held for another 2 days, and he's due back in court for another hearing on August 7th.
Oh my gosh.
Never had a license. All of that.
Listen, the amount of us who've we found out, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, that who have driven on suspended licenses?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've got some sympathy, but you know.
What a story!
I mean, look at it this way though: they can't suspend your state ID card.
Right. But here we were last Thursday. We're like, what a goofball! Well, he's driving while he's going through virtual court for having a suspended license. And then we find out, well, it really wasn't suspended. They messed up. They messed up the paperwork, they said. And his suspension was supposed to be lifted. And everybody, I mean, you could go watch different media coverage of this, and they were like, we owe you an apology, Corey. We are so sorry, Corey. We know we raked you over the coals for what you did, and we didn't know, and we're sorry. And now, then we find out this.
Here's the thing. Anybody who's ever driven on a suspended license or had a bunch of traffic tickets, you drive around always thinking every cop knows who you are and is about to pull you over. I don't get why, if you're driving a car without a license, on a suspended license, or anything else, why aren't you following like the speed limit exactly? Like you're not getting high and driving. You're not speeding. You're right lane speed limit going slow, defensive driver all the way there. I never understood why people, do anything that draws attention to themselves. And I don't mean go just the speed limit. I mean, if it's 65, I'm probably going 70.
Right.
So I look normal.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Not going 64. Because then cops can be like, why is this guy driving so slow? What are you trying to hide? I'm going to pull you over.
Right. Oh, my gosh. That was great, though, right? No, you had no idea what was coming at the end. But there you go, Corey Harris. Well, maybe now you can actually go get a real driver's license.
And now, all right, I'm listening. 3 things you need to know before you go.
The first recreational marijuana license applications in Ohio are available online today. Officials with the state's Division of Cannabis Control is posting the initial dual use applications on their website. Now, those licenses are only for the operators of existing medical marijuana dispensaries who want to convert their businesses for adult recreational sales as well. The DCC says it hopes to have the first dual-use licenses issued before the 4th of July.
The weed!
So less than a month.
So these won't be for like a brand new store opening.
These aren't those applications. The applications are only for dual use right now.
Okay.
Yep. The FDA is reversing its ban on Juul e-cigarettes. The administration says it reviewed new court decisions and updated information from the company. Back in 2022, the FDA ordered the product taken off store shelves, but they did remain available pending an appeal. The ban was based on a claim that Juul e-cigarettes were being marketed to children and in a way that did not meet the public health standard required by law. But the FDA did reverse course, and Juul is free and clear, apparently, to resume whatever they want to resume, although they can't advertise to kids. Now, Juul is, and I think they claim that they weren't doing that anyway, but... Right. Because there are so many flavors available, it is really popular with middle and high school students. In fact, more than 2 million American middle and high school students used e-cigarettes in 2023, with nearly 9 in 10 students saying they use flavored e-cigarettes. So I guess Juul was a big popular brand for the old kiddos.
Yeah.
And that's why they took some action against them. Although, I mean, everything's reverse course now. So Juul, I think, is free and clear to continue doing business.
Not better than them smoking cigarettes.
Well, as far as we know. Still sucking in those poisons, I think. Aren't you?
Well, there's the chemicals and carcinogens. There's like 2,000 chemicals and carcinogens in a cigarette.
Yeah.
They're nowhere near that in the...
But there are chemicals in Juul.
You want me to text the boy in my house and ask him if Juul's his brand of vape?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see.
My doctor told me he would much rather I vape than smoke cigarettes.
All right. I bet he'd much rather you just breathe in clean air.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do that anywhere in the world these days.
No, because then he won't have to come see him.
Right.
All right. School superintendent. By the way, I don't care whether I care for your life.
I know, but
I'm not criticizing you.
Also want to know what's what. What's factual and what's real. And
I need the cleanest of e-cigarettes for my middle schooler.
My point is, I know that smoking among kids, smoking cigarettes has dropped dramatically.
Yeah, they're all vaping.
Right.
That's why I just dip. Hundreds of years worth of baseball players, farmers, truck drivers, cattle workers, and et cetera can't possibly be wrong about that. That's 100% safe.
But what's the oral cancer percentage amongst?
But I believe it's really low.
The thing is they were cracking down hard on vaping until the big tobacco companies got involved in the vaping industry, and then all of a sudden it was fine.
Oh, what do you know?
How about
what do you
that?
know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Can we bring back those truth commercials? I always like those.
Yeah. This is your brain on drugs or whatever.
Yeah, the orange truth commercials. Don't remember the truth commercials?
Those.
What's the orange truth?
Google it.
Okay, I will.
All right, a school superintendent in Wisconsin has been granted a restraining order against a parent who apparently ran up onto the stage during high school graduation last week and blocked the superintendent from shaking hands with his daughter.
What?
Okay. So this man, his name's Matthew Eddy. His daughter was getting ready to walk across the stage and receive her diploma and shake hands with the school superintendent, whose name is Rainey Briggs. Well, Matthew Eddy did not want Rainey Briggs touching his daughter's hand. So he went up with both hands, put both hands on the superintendent, pushed him out of the way and said, "You are not going to touch my effing daughter."
Wow.
Okay, there's video of the incident where you can hear Briggs say, "You better get up off me, man. Get away from me, bro." So the school's resource officer and 2 off-duty officers jumped on stage and escorted Matthew Eddy out of the gym. He's the dad. Eddy has been charged with disorderly conduct. Now, both men have been asked, what is the beef here?
Yeah, that's
what's the problem? Neither of them will say anything other than Eddy did give an interview to, I think, the Daily Mail or something, and said that they have had problems with each other going back some time, that he doesn't like it. He doesn't like this guy for whatever unspecified reason.
And so he didn't want him touching his daughter.
I guess not. I guess it's gotten that petty that you don't want some guy you have beef with to shake your daughter's hand. So the poor daughter's the victim in all this nonsense.
Yep.
Obviously.
Thanks, Dad.
And also, you can't jump up on stage and push the superintendent.
No.
So whatever you get, I believe you deserve.
I want to know. I want the tea, damn it.
I know. I hope we find out. All right. Those are your 3 things.
Stuff always
comes
comes
the
out.
daughter should do a TikTok because they always like to expose the parents.
Yeah.
So the daughter, maybe she'll do a TikTok and let us know why her dad's so mad at the school superintendent.
I wonder if she knows.
Maybe. I don't know.
You know, she needs to find out and let us know.
You know that dad has been popping off about the superintendent for years at the dinner table. She knows.
Kelly, have a fantastic weekend.
You too.